Okay, let's look at these that you sent. I don't know, maybe it's from using a calculator or something that you kind of estimated or something. I'm not really sure, but so they want you to find the fourth term, and so you just find a sub 4, which would be 5 to the power of 4 over 3 to the power of 4. Then 5 to the fourth power, you multiply 5 times 5 times 5, so on. And you should get 625. And then 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, then times 3 again is 81. And so I don't know if maybe you were putting it in the calculator and you're getting really close to 7, and so you just rounded to 7, but they want an exact and not to approximate. All right. Next, this is pretty much the same thing. They want us to find the 33rd term. So here we go. So see, a sub 33 equals 2 times 33 plus 1 all over 2 times 33. So on top, 33 times 2 is 66. Then we'll add 1 to that all over 66 on bottom. Then we add that together, and so we get 67 over 66. And there we go. And once again, I don't know if we just rounded there to 1, but basically you just want to do these by hand. And then the last one is really just kind of a notation question. So right here, let's see how many, we've got these terms, and it looks like we're possibly going to the eighth or possibly even the ninth term, but depends on where they start. And so what you have to do is basically look at these and plug in 1, and you want to get this, and then plug in 2 and get this, and plug in 3 and 4. And so we can start with the first one up here. And so let's see, if I plug in a 1, that would become, let's see, so if k were to equal 1, let's see, I'd get negative 1 to the power of 2. And then I would be multiplying that by 1 over 3 to the power of 1. And that doesn't look good, because what will happen is this will become positive 1, and then I'm going to get multiplied by 1/3, and so I'd get 1/3, but I don't have 1/3 there, so it can't be that one. And then let's see this one right here. So if I plugged in 1, let's see, if k equaled 1, I'd get negative 1 to the power of 1, but then I'd also multiply it by 1/3 again, basically, and this time I'd get negative 1/3, and that's not what I want. Um, let's see, this next one down here. Let's see, if I plug in 1, the only difference is really what's going on is that negative gets applied after the fact. So you have negative and then just 1 to the power of 1 times 1/3, basically, once you plug in the 1 right there for that power. And that would turn into 1/3, negative 1/3, because of the negative out front. But still, not what I wanted. Um, so let's see. Apparently, this next one's supposed to be the correct one. Um, let's see. So you'll notice that they changed the exponent to a k minus 1, and that's probably where the 8 comes in on that last term. But anyways, let's see. So let's see, if k were to equal 1, let's see, we'd have negative 1 raised to the power of 1 minus 1, which would become 0. And then in the denominator spot, let's see, we would get 1 over 3 to the power of, that would become power of 0. And so anything raised to 0, except for 0, which we're not going to run into that. But anyways, any other base raised to 0 is going to be 1. So that turns into 1 times 1 over 1, which becomes 1. Now, just because it worked for the first term, you have to be careful. That might not be true for the next term. And so you'd want to go ahead and figure out, okay, what is k when k equals 2, just to kind of check it to make sure we're getting the right result. So let's see, negative 1 raised to 2 minus 1 is 1 for my power, and then times 1 over, and then this would be 3 to the power of 1. So I'd end up with negative 1 times 1/3, which would be negative 1/3. And let's see, that looks correct. So I've got that minus 1/3 right there. and then the next one should be plus the ninth and minus 127th and so on. So you could keep trying those numbers just to make sure it fits the pattern. And then also, if you look here, if you plug in 9, you would get this last one right here. So if you were to plug in 9, 9 take away 1, that's where that 8 comes from. So negative 1 to the power of 8, and then 1 over 3 to the power of 8. So you can see that also right there. So that's why this is our result. So I hope that helps. If you got more questions, just let me know.